Okay, people, here's some things about addiction and family members that are dealing with family or loved ones that are addicted to substances, and the loved one don't know they're addicted. Uh, you know, the 6 family roles that appear when addiction is in the family. I wrote all this down because I wanted to be prepared, so I'm just reading out my notes. But addiction doesn't just affect the person abusing substances. It can draw the entire family into patterns of deceit and destructive behavior. Even if only one family member is actively misusing substances, the dysfunction and the disruption caused by the addiction seeps out into the whole family. In order to cope, family members often adopt perceptible roles according to addictions. The one that is brought to me in families of addictions, there is a few different people, and everybody's got a different role in the addiction of even one person in a family. Everybody's going to have a different role. The one that I know I had is a person called a caretaker. Often a parent or a spouse, in my case, the caretaker scrambles to keep everything in the family how it has always been. This seems covering up the addict's actions and protecting him or her from the consequences. I was protected from my family. The caregiver might become the mediator between the person with the addiction and other family members of the family to look less kindly upon his or her actions. The caretaker is an enabler and often has a component relationship with the person with addiction. In other words, the caretaker, like the enabler, it's like codependent. The person giving the money and everything to the drug addict, he's dependent on that money. And the person, the enabler, giving the money, he is dependent on the addict. And then there's a scapegoat. While some family members might protect themselves by becoming as perfect as they can, others shield themselves by acting out. This is a scapegoat. Often a child or sibling or the person with the addiction, the scapegoat attracts negative attention to him or herself. In the addiction, giving the scapegoat the attention of other family members, this also helps cover up the addict's actions by distracting family members by creating less serious problems. They might say, well, we got that $1,000 visa bill now. We don't need no other stresses dealing with Harold's addiction. Like, let's get that visa bill paid off first, because that's more important right now. That's the money. Without that money, how are we going to help Harold? All right? That's scapegoat, right? You're making an excuse then to deal with the bigger problem. The mascot. The mascot takes it up on him or herself to keep the family happy with jokes. The mascot, who might be the child, spouse or parent, or the person with the addiction, is always in hand to diffuse the tension with a quick laugh. However, this can distract family members from taking about the issues at hand more serious. Ultimately, the mascot can become disrespected when he or she is not able to improve the family's environment in the long term. Right? Like deal with the big issue that's happening right now, and usually is with the addict, getting him help instead of saying he's okay and that, because this is going to turn into a big problem. Right? I'm fighting with half my family now. I don't know what's wrong with my family. And they'll try to make it sound like that I'm the bad guy. And it's sad, right? So, you don't want your loved ones feeling death. If your family, you're supposed to be together no matter what. If blood spills, you lick up the blood of your family and you be nice. Like, family's supposed to be the best in the world. Dear for each other no matter what. I'll die for my family. God forbid that one of my children ever get addicted to anything. But if they did, I'd give my life to give them better. I'll sell my house. I'll sell my truck. I'll take my early pension out to save them. And I would go live in a shelter when I'm finished. I got no money left. I wouldn't care. It's just the right thing to do. Family's family, man. Then there is the last child in every family. The last child protects himself from the chaos of addiction by disappearing. Yeah, you won't see the last child. There's going to be a child that don't want to deal with none of it. He knows the person's hurting with addiction. He sees the family's not helping. Yeah, so he wants to get lost from it and don't want to see it because it's sad. And this is going to affect that child too. Just as bad as the person with the addiction. Because he sees the loving, caring brother or son or whatever being hurt and not taken care of. And the people that's supposed to care is not doing nothing. So this other child is growing up in confusion. He thinks he's supposed to be good to everybody in the world, but he's seen his brother or his son or his nephew being abused, not taken care of because he's an addict. Over time, this can impact family relationships because the last child disengages from him or her role as the family. Yeah, I'm just finding my notes. I've been printing so much shit off. It's not funny. But another thing, like living with a drug addict, loved one can cause significant stress on the members of the household. Family therapy can be tremendous help to confuse the stressed parents, children, romantic partners. Many schools have counselors available to help parents deal with drug addiction in children. And don't be ashamed because it's your child. And he's in a lot of pain. Most people think he'll be okay later on. Right? No, it's very serious. Yeah, I get a little bit frustrated sometimes, but and if it's a bad addiction, you can ask for help from a professional. Interventions can be planned and led by a professional for the best chance of success. The bot's intervention risks of loved ones becoming even more committed to their addiction. So if you're ever going to think about an intervention as a last resort, that's got to be planned out really heavy and right to the T, right? Because sometimes with addicts, you got to give them the bottom line. As hard as it is as a parent to tell your children that they're addicts, my mom could never do it. I love her, beautiful woman. But it's important. If you love your child, you would say, son, I love you. Or daughter, or husband, or wife, I love you. And I'll be here for you every step of the way. If you're going to agree to get clean. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You can say you don't, mom or dad, you don't love me to put that on me. No, it is love. And the person that's addicted will thank you immensely later when they get clean. That's the nicest thing anybody ever did for me. My sister called me a drug addict one time, Regina. That's the only thing she ever did for me. But it's important she did it, because she woke me up to realize I was. Right? Then she ran and left me and gave me no help. But I thank her for telling me. So stick by your family members. It's fucking very important. When you plan an intervention, my suggestion is decide who should be there. Who will lead the session? How will you involve the addict? And what addicts you will do what activities will you do during the intervention? Many interventions are led by a trained drug therapist or a family counselor and have family members, friends, clergy members, or teachers, and other influential people from the addict's life in attendance. Consider all these options while planning interventions suitable for your loved one's situation. So if I was going to pull an intervention on someone, I'll get everybody that's the most important in his life. And it's usually all the enablers and everything, because they're the last ones he got left in his life usually. So you want them at a meeting with you if you ever decide to do it. And the best, the number one thing, like I said, you got to confront your loved one about his or her substance abuse. Some interventions involve a series of personal requests from loved ones to ask the addict to enter detox therapy, rehabilitation, while others involve reading letters to the addict aloud, sharing personal feelings about the difficulty of seeing the loved one suffer from addiction. Be prepared for what will depending on your loved one's response. You'll have to persevere through it and set boundaries. Boundaries are a big thing with addicts. And these boundaries, if you set them and they think they're going to step outside of them, you throw them out the door. And you make sure that everybody that can give them help won't give him the help. He'll get cold and come back. He'll want the help. Look out for organizations for the family members. You can look out for organizations, agencies like as Al-Anon, Alateen, NANAR, 12-step programs, families for friends and addicts. They offer support for dealing with the addict and sharing with the people in similar situations to you will quickly help and learn to understand the realities of addiction and recovery. These programs will also help you to recover from the emotional effects of the relationship with addict and addictive addict. Like I say, when my family didn't know how to deal with it, and nobody really wanted to confront me about it. But if I was sitting in a situation and had a son or a daughter or a wife or a sister that was addicted, and I see that it was destroying their life, which is, when you're an addict and is interrupting in your marriage, as being a parent, or in your work, paying your bills, you got a problem. It's because of your addiction, nothing else. So, watch for them things, and, I would watch for them sort of things, and I would bring it to the attention right away. I wouldn't let it go because it's a serious situation. It can't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Today is Friday. Friday. Hee-hoo, cuckoo. Today is Wednesday. When tomorrow comes, it's Thursday. It's not tomorrow. So you got to do it now. I would say, listen, I love you. I see that you're having a problem, and you're sliding down a slippery slope. And if you keep doing what you're going to do, you're going to hit rock bottom. You're going to have nothing. So, I'm giving you a choice. And the choice I'm giving you is because I love you. As hard as it's going to sound. And you better stand tall. It's not going to be easy to say it. And just say, we got to make arrangements for you to get help. You got to get clean of your addiction. It's ruining your life. It's ruining our lives. And I don't want to see us lose any time because time is precious. We all think we got a lot of it. We ain't. I thought that too 43 years ago. Now I think about how my time is running out. I should have did so much more. Right? But I'm going to do it now. It's never too late, but you can put a lot of more enjoyment in your life than wait until you're 53 like me. So, set your boundaries. Tell the person that you love that's the addict, you're going to get help. I'm going to be here to help you through it. Anything you need. I love you. If you don't accept this help, I will no longer pay your bills. I would no longer pay your car. I no longer pay your insurance. I'll give you no money. And I'm going to be throwing you out the door. You're going to find a place to live. Because I can't sit by and watch you destroy your life while mine is being wasted too. If we're going to be in pain, it's better to be in pain separate. That way we can heal and get back with each other. So it's a serious situation, family. Don't think the addict is doing it to be bad, or he's an idiot, or he's a piece of dirt, or he's no good. There's a lot of addicts out there that rose to the top again and became very important people in this world and standing members of society that do a lot of good for people. So don't ever give up on a human being. Everybody deserves a big shot at happiness. And to hit that peak in life where you say, yes, I arrived. If people had to be more stern with me and kick me ahead, I probably would have did about better in life. I had no one to tell me. Some tried. I don't think it was forceful enough, or people never stuck by. It's lucky I got a strong mind and I fought the way I did myself. Because not many people could survive what I went through the last 2 years. I wouldn't even talk about the last 27. That's nothing. The last 2 years of my life has been misery. Right? And I'm a strong person. That's why I survived. Most people could never do it. So watch your loved ones, please. Treat them kind. Because most addicts, their minds are so beautiful. When they get clean, they will do anything in the world for you. Okay? Thought for the night. Just think about life without that person that's an addict. Just think of him dead and gone. Think about how you'd feel. I hope everybody thinks good about that and feels love for the person and feels sad that you'd miss them if they were gone. Because if they do, you should never spill your words of, he was so beautiful. It's a sin he was trapped in addiction. He couldn't do it. Yes, he could. If you had a stick by him. You'll stop and pick up a stranger. If a car hit him and twisted their ankle, you'll get out and pick him up off the street and worry about that about him. A stranger, you would. You worries about all these immigrants coming in. Give him everything. Take care of him. When you sees your family member sick, you turn your back on him. Don't ever do it. Take care of the people that you love. I promise they're the best people you'll ever know. Good night and God bless. And I'm going to share some good stories about different subjects here on this. Because my goal is to help the children of Newfoundland first, Canada, and anywhere else in the world I can reach out to. I know a lot about addictions. This is the face of addictions. And this is the face that loves the Lord too. 25 years ago, I was sitting in a super maximum prison. 19 murderers on my range. And the prison full of another 120 would smash your head in a minute. Now I've been out 25 years. Aside from 6 months and a few weekends I did. But I did 6 months of weekends, and over 20 years, that's all I did. I know the recipe to stay out and be a good person in society. So come along for the ride and listen to me. I want to try to help you out. And if I can get a farm for addictions, no, I'm going to get a farm for addictions in 8 years in Newfoundland. I'll take people in for free. I love you all. Bye.